Be prepared, and that's not just for the Boy Scouts. People gathering their share of sandbags this afternoon in Redding, getting ready for what could be a nasty storm. Good evening. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Mike Mangus. Jennifer Scarborough is off tonight. We're all about bringing you severe weather first, so let's go straight to the First Alert Weather Center, where Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger is tracking an incoming storm that is still on track. Mike.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of hard to believe we got this storm that's brewing out. In fact, a series of storms that are off over the Pacific Ocean right now has just been very pleasant the last several days. Let's start off with all the watches and warnings we have out there, and we have plenty to talk about. First of all the areas here that are shaded in green is where we have a flood advisory between Thursday. It starts Thursday, and then we'll end on Sunday, although the rain will start as early as tomorrow. Now let's talk about the wind advisory for all the areas here that are shaded in blue. This will be basically in effect through the day tomorrow, and starts at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and then will expire at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Gusts easily over 40 miles per hour. We also have a high wind warning in the Shasta Valley. That's, of course, in central Siskiyou County, as we'll be looking at gusts easily over 50 miles per hour. This is also for your Wednesday. All the areas in white here is where we have a winter weather advisory from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Wednesday. As the storm system moving through, we'll be dumping some snow. But in the highest elevations, you have to go above 6,000 feet before you start seeing most of that snow. Winter storm warning between 4 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Wednesday, and that's mainly for eastern Siskiyou County. So let's take a look at some of those rainfall estimates. And there you can see, of course, we're seeing it really begin to pile up. It's going to take you all the way through Friday at 8 a.m. You can see the yellows is where we see 8 inches plus, a very good possibility. This is not including, by the way, the rain we expect to see on Saturday and especially into Saturday night as well. So there are some spots that could see 10 inches plus of rain. So here's what we're looking at. Your risk for severe weather. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be windy tomorrow. I've got it up to 6. I've got it up to high for your Thursday, as that's when I expect some of the the torrential downpours to move in, and of course still windy. In fact, windier for your Thursday, and then Friday looking at a moderate risk for severe weather as well. So we've got quite a series of storms heading our way. More on the timing of when these systems will come through.
Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, let's just get right into it, because we've got a lot to talk about. Rain and winds, of course, snow in the higher elevations too, but we're talking mainly above 6,000 feet as we got a series of warm storm systems coming through. So let's talk about the potential storm impacts. We talked about these yesterday. I just kind of want to recap here. Of course, the rain is going to be the thing. We'll be looking at heavy rain at times with a possibility for some mud and rock slides in the higher elevations, and in particular the areas that this past summer did see a lot of the fires, where we tend to have the highest potential for those mud and rock slides. Street flooding will be a potential, especially those clogged drains from leaves, kind of clogging out those drains. Also along the flooding creeks and streams, we could be looking at some problems there as well. And then strong south winds is what we're looking at starting as early as tomorrow, especially for the second half of the day tomorrow. And you'll be looking at possibility for some down trees, which could also bring down some power lines, and potential for power outages as well. We'll take a look at some of the storm estimates, and these are just general ideas of what we can expect. These are not just numbers that you need to kind of live by, but kind of idea what we can look at. Now, when we're talking about Wednesday through Sunday, we're talking about anywhere between 4 to 8 inches of rain. Now, for the mountains, 8 to 10 inches plus of rain, and then wind gusts out of the south at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Now, one thing I also want to mention with these storm totals is I want you to take back just to the storm that we saw over a week ago. Redding saw about anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain once all was said and done. We do expect a lot more rain out of this system. But we're talking about these microclimates. We had reports of over 10 inches of rain for parts of northern Shasta County. Montgomery Creek, for example, saw a ton of rain there. We also saw in the Lakehead area, O'Brien had reports of some heavy rainfall too. So it just depends on where you are. Because with these strong south winds, any of these south-facing slopes could be dealing with some heavy rainfall. You get that strong south wind, it helps to give you that lift. And we see just torrential downpours as a result just from those winds alone. Not to mention the system coming through. Now here's Wednesday at 4 o'clock, the winds. You see how mainly to the east side of the valley we see the strongest winds. But then they really pick up for Thursday morning. We're talking 40, even 50 miles per hour in some cases here for your Thursday. And then Thursday afternoon, still looking at some very strong winds. Friday at 8 a.m., still strong winds, most likely sticking around through Friday afternoon. This is a system coming in for Wednesday. This is what's coming in for Thursday and Friday, and there's more behind that coming in for the weekend. So yeah, again, quite a series of storms coming through. Here's your TrueView forecast, and here we are, Wednesday at 8 a.m. The rain just starting to come in, pretty light at this point. Snow levels probably above 6,000 feet at this point, too. Now we take into Wednesday at 11 a.m. around noon. Now we have a nice line of some heavy rain coming in. And you'll notice the bullseye is basically between Red Bluff and Chico, so that's where we do expect some of the heavier rainfall. Now we take into Wednesday afternoon. Let's take kind of advance it here, and there you can see it actually starts to die out. So we'll probably actually start to see a break from the rain tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, and then we see another system coming in for Thursday. This is Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Again, just a few light showers for us. Heavier rain still off to our west. Now we'll advance it to Thursday right around the noon hour, and there you can see now we're starting to see more of the widespread rainfall, and we'll see pockets of heavy rain. And you can see here strong south winds. And notice to the north of Redding, this is where we typically see some heavy rainfall. So, I mean, this is one of those things where the storm estimates, this is where it kind of goes off the charts, and we just can't really tell. Depends on what those winds decide to do. Now we take into Thursday night. And look at this. See where the heaviest energy is? In fact, a lot of the forecast models agree with this, that it looks like eastern Butte County and Plumas County, you'll see the biggest bullseye and the heaviest amount of rain here. This is, again, also where it could go off the charts here. See, this is 11 o'clock. Now we're looking at Friday at 4 a.m. Still, that same area, very heavy rainfall. All this white here and purples, that's in the heavy rainfall. I mean, this is going almost off the charts here. So again, looking at some very heavy rainfall there, not as bad for Redding, but look at just the north of Redding. Strong south winds, heavy rainfall there as a result. And you see some of the lightning strikes. Not out of the question, see a few lightning strikes too. Friday, 8 a.m. again, see the heavy rainfall. Again, eastern Butte County, Plumas County going to get pummeled by some of this rainfall. So here's what we got. Wet and windy conditions, southeast winds at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. For the valley tomorrow, for the mountains, temperatures generally in the 40s for your daytime highs. So but down the chilly side, and here are your daytime highs for the valley. There you can see 56 degrees for Chico, 56 in Corning. There's your first alert 70 forecast for Chico. You take your pick. There's going to be rain at least through Sunday. Then Monday and Tuesday, that rain should start to move out. Look for a high of 55 for Redding and Anderson, 54 in Cottonwood. Here's your first alert 70 forecast for Redding. Also take your pick with that heavy rainfall. Windy conditions for your Wednesday and Thursday. Still fairly windy on Friday and Saturday. It looks like we finally start to see a break from all this by Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back.